Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain. Welcome to the summer transfer special with Brentford as we follow in Dean Smith's footsteps and we head in from to season 2 of the Premier League, our third season, in between season 2 and season 3 here at Brentford. We've come straight back since last episode. It's still the day of the end of season awards. And again, congratulations to Manuel Farai on his cleaning up of those awards. But here we go. It's going to be an interesting summer for us, I think. We haven't got our budgets yet for next season, but we have a lot of money in the bank. We have 18 million left over from last season. We're a little bit over our wage budget, but that shouldn't be a problem for us. Yeah, and we just basically need to strengthen. Now, quick reminder, we do have 3 players already that are coming in this summer. We have Suisi, I guess you'd pronounce it, I'm really excited about this guy, the centre-back. So he'll be in for this summer already. We know that Scott Quinn is coming in as well, a bit of a young midfielder there. And we also know that Scott Munro, a deep-lying forward who I'm excited about, is already coming in. So that's 3 reinforcements that are in already. Have a look at contracts that are expiring. We go and have a look here. Palaversa on loan, I would really like to get him back again for next season if possible. Tuazi, I'm not as... He's good, but he didn't really get the goals for us this season, so I'm not too bothered about him. Jamie Vardy, we're going to let him go. He just hasn't worked out for us. And another loan there of Fico. He's a decent young player, but I'm not convinced if we want him back or not. It's one of those, if we only have to pay $1,500 or so a week of his wages, again, I'll take him back. But I don't think he's a priority. Palaversa, though, is a priority. So we've got a little bit of wage money being freed up. Not too much, though. Vardy's really the only main earner there that's leaving. So I'm hoping we will get a bigger wage budget for our second year in the Premier League. We should do, shouldn't we? We really, I mean, 700 grand a week is nice, but it's, by Premier League standards, absolutely nothing. We want to be at least doubling that, I would think. So there we go. That's where we stand coming into the summer. We need to get a goal scorer in. We know that much for sure. And then just got to see what becomes available. So here we go. I click continue once and we get our wage budget. So we got 1.1 million in wages and 52 million to spend. So we can have some fun with that. The stadium expansion plans are announced. So what's that? Just under 8,000 seats, 12 million to complete. So we're going to be ground sharing at Selhurst Park in the meantime. So, yeah, well, that's not really what I was hoping. So we're going to be out until for the most of this season. Well, there we go. And the facilities are being upgraded, youth and training facilities, 2.1 million altogether. So that's all well and good. So now we know what we have to play with. We can go and start playing. Okay, commercial summary time, and we have, well, look at this, it's lots and lots of green, you'll love to see it. Financial services company, we have a new, most notable deal, 5 years worth 3.8 million, I'm assuming that's per year. 5 new deals worth 2 million, so maybe that's not worth that per year. 5 new deals worth 2 million a year, so sponsorship was up, well, actually it was stable last season. Corporate hospitality was up, as you'd expect. Match revenue was down. Now, that's probably Premier League. There's less games, even if we were sold out. So that maybe explains that. Broadcast revenue, obviously, through the roof. Competition prize money through the roof. Shirt sales, 1.4 million more or less jerseys sold. Hamsik was the number one, not surprising. Baptiste, Tuazi, Palaversa, and Jamie Vardy. There's going to be a lot of disappointed kids running around, isn't there, the streets of West London with Vardy on the back of their Brentford shirts, and they will probably regret that decision, I would think. But there we go, they were the top 5 jersey sales, and we've got our scouting budget there as well, but that's not very exciting, is it? Okay, transfer window has opened, so we do have a little bit to catch you up on here. Scott Munro has officially joined. He's worth £2.7 million. He's a very, very good 5-star potential player. And yep, I'm really excited to see what he can do for us. And the other one that has now officially joined is our young centre-back, Suisi. Again, he looks an absolute star. I'm really excited to get him in the team for next season. Now, other news we do have is some bids that have come in for some of our players with the transfer window opening. If we just get here, James Garner had an 18.25 million bid come in from Brighton immediately. Baptiste had a 25.5 million bid come in from Leicester City. I was tempted by that, I've got to say. But we will hang on to Baptiste for now. Lewis Potter, he's not going anywhere if I can help it. Watford came in for him, and we quickly rejected that as well. So there's some interest in our players. But hopefully, yeah, that's not going to become a problem. Hi, Manchester City. Hi, it's Aussie Villain, Brentford's manager. Well, I tell you what, you couldn't beat us last year, so we can't be that crap. Anyway, listen, the reason I'm calling is to see if we can extend Palaversa's loan for another season. Okay? And what terms would you like? Well, I tell you what, don't check. I'm pretty sure we were paying all of his wages. Uh-huh. Great, same term sounds fantastic. Alright, thank you. So there we go, Ante Palaversa, his loan deal, I should say, has been extended for another year, which is excellent. And once again, we're not paying anything, which is hilarious. So we'll just keep trying to do that as long as we can. I would have got him back and paid for him. The fact we're getting for nothing is just an absolute bonus. So really, really happy to do that. Tuazi has left, though. I mean, it was tempting to try and get him back for free as well, but ultimately he didn't get the goals for us last season that we wanted from him, and so I don't really see the sense in sort of keep going or going back in for him, even if we could have got him for nothing. I just don't think it probably would have worked out the way we wanted. So Palaversa stays, Tuazi leaves, but we still pay absolutely nothing towards Palaversa. We have breaking news this evening out of Brentford as the club announced the signing of German international striker Fete Arp from Bayern Munich. Now, for more on this story, we cross live to local reporter Reginald Haymaker. And Reginald, this does appear to be a transfer bargain. Yeah, thanks, Nigel. Look, manager Aussie Villain looks to have pulled off a bit of a coup with this one as he paid just 8.5 mil for a player who got 12 goals on loan in France's Ligue 1 last season. Alright, so this is hopefully a big signing for us. Fete Arp, you will probably know the name if you've played Football Manager before. The scouts found him. Reminder, I have a rule, I can't search players. The scouts have to find the players. It just makes it a little bit more realistic for me. And we got him, he was transfer listed at Bayern Munich, so we've got him for £8.25 million. B plus rated signing by the fans. You can see here that... yeah, I mean, we've got a big wage, 79 grand a week for us. He's got all these bonuses there as well. Interested to see if he can handle being a big fish in a small pond. Let's certainly hope he can. Let's have a quick look at what we've signed here. And he's a good finisher, good movement off the ball, good physically. Yeah, I think he's going to do a good job for us, and hopefully he'll be able to get some goals. He is a German international, 3 caps, no goals. He was on loan last season at Nice in France. Got 12 goals there. He got some goals at Bayern Munich as well in their first team in the Bundesliga. So he's a decent player. He's a decent player. I've got high hopes for him. Let's hope he comes off. Alright, just a quick update of our coaching staff. I've just spent a lot of time going through making sure our backroom staff is as good as it can possibly be. You can see we've still got a little bit to do in terms of recruitment, scouts and the medical side of things, but we'll work on that. But the main thing I wanted to bring you back to look at is the coaching team. And the main person here we need to be familiar with is our assistant manager. We have a new one, Roger Machado. Really, really good. He's a good coach. He's a good manager. I'm not too bothered about the ability, potential side of things. I'm more concerned with the motivating and particularly with tactical knowledge so that I can sort of set him to do like tactical instructions for the game and stuff. Know that the feedback he's giving me is probably good, all that sort of stuff. So he's a manager as well, which is obviously good to see. He's managed mainly in Brazil, if not exclusively in Brazil. No, he's never managed outside of Brazil. Yeah, so I think he'll do a good job for us. The only downfall is that he does have a release fee, or like a release if a management job comes up. But, you know, we'll deal with that if and when it comes around. We're paying him $6,500 a week, so there's a lot of clubs that won't be able to afford to offer him that as a manager, and we can just offer him a new contract if someone does come in for him. So that's the main one to be familiar with, the Machado, our new assistant manager. But generally, as you could see back here, our coaching it's above average. It's very good in most categories. So that's excellent. Breaking news this evening out of Brentford as the club announced the signing of 25-year-old Belgian international winger Dodi Lukebakio from Hertha Berlin. Now, for more on this story, we cross live to Reginald Haymaker. And Reginald, this is going to be an unfamiliar name to many. Yeah, thanks, Nige. Yeah, look, there's no doubt no one's ever heard of this player before, but manager Aussie Villain seems to like him. Now, there's no doubt that a fee of just 2.2 mil for the international who was transfer listed in Germany, it does seem a bargain. Alright, we have another signing to announce. It is Dodi Lukebakio. I think I've got that name pretty close, actually. On the surface of things, not a big signing, but I think he could be a very big player for us. We've signed him for 2.2 million from Hertha Berlin. He was transfer listed there. The fans say he's a B- signing, potentially a good Premier League midfielder. 50 grand a week, more or less. You can see all the bonuses that he has there. Let's have a look at what we've signed and my thinking behind this. Now, he's a left-footed winger, essentially. What I like about him, and my plan here, is that we will play him more on the left because he's left-footed, but he's got good jumping reach, he's got decent finishing, decent-ish heading, not fantastic. But my plan here, physically, is actually very, very good, is that if we were to go with the wingers for this season, we could have up front, the Wizard on the right, we know he scores goals from there, and if we get Dodi out here on the left, I think he could do a similar job to what we see from the Wizard over there on the right. So that's my plan coming into this, to give us options to play different ways. And he could play up front as a striker without too much problem as well. The lack there is teamwork. That's maybe not the greatest. He looks like a bit of a selfish player, but that's the thinking anyway. That's the thinking. As I said, he was at Hertha Berlin. He's not played too much in the Bundesliga of recent seasons, so hopefully he's hungry. He'll come in. He's 25, so there is room to improve. He's got 2 Belgian caps, but he does have Belgian caps. Let me know what you think. I think this could be a nice little signing for us. Alright, we have some breaking news. It's a loan signing, and I'm really, really excited. We have a wonder kid at Brentford. Hannibal Marshbury, I think you'd pronounce that. I forget who it was. Somebody either on Discord or in the comments recommended we have a look at this guy. I think last season when we first got promoted. And we couldn't get him last year, but I did add him to the short list, and he's here for this season. There was a B-rated signing by the fans. You can see we're paying 25 grand a week of his wages, but no fee. On loan, as I said, from Manchester United. So have a quick look at what we've got here. And he's a wonder kid. Really, really good player. I think it'll be a little bit of depth for us in midfield as well, so that if Hamsik or Farai gets injured, this guy is here, and we can sort of rotate him around as well. And they can all sort of battle it out for who wants to be the starter. I do think he could play as a winger as well, which is good. He could go forward as a number 10, which is good. And you can see there, he's an absolute star, potentially a 5-star player. He was on loan last season in Germany, did okay for a midfielder, 15 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, averaged just under 7. But I'm expecting a little bit more than that from him for this season. So he's come in, which is good. Now, as you know, the transfer window is opened. The outs have happened that were already going to happen. So Drew Yearwood has left on a free at the end of his contract. We've also lost Mads Beck, who we knew was leaving. He's gone off, as has Balakome, who we already knew again was leaving, which is a shame because he's a good goalkeeper. And a youngster, Aaron Presley's left at the end of his contract, was never going to make it with us. Now, in terms of players that we have released as well, there was only the 2, a young Finnish defensive midfielder, and Jamie Vardy obviously left as well. He will not be coming back. So good luck to him. I wonder who he's wanted by. What if he goes to Walsall? Sydney Wanderers. Go off there. I hate the Wanderers. I don't hate them, but not Sydney FC, and that's my team. Alright, so there we go. That is the update. The big takeaway from this is obviously that Marshbury is at Brentford for the season. Alright, we have a breaking news, and that is another signing. We have signed Omar Soleil, I guess you would pronounce it, from Lyon. £1.9 million. He was transfer listed there, so we snuck in, got ourselves a nice little bargain here, I think. 32 grand a week we're going to be paying him. You can see he's an important player who could still improve, a potentially good Premier League central defender. Let's have a quick look at exactly what we have signed here. And what I'm hoping we've signed is a really good ball-playing centre-back. He's good in the air, physically. I mean, he's just a good, well-rounded, sort of ready-for-now central defender. Now, I think a little bit of what we had last year, the likes of Marley Felix, for example, potentially they're this good, but they weren't this good yet. So what I'm hoping we've got is just someone that can come in and do a job for us when we need them to. He might even be challenged for first choice as well. But yeah, good passing, good vision, positioning, everything there is just good. Not fantastic, but there's no real weakness in his game either. So that's what I'm hoping he's going to be, is just a good solid defender for us. Last year he was on loan in La Liga, played 36 games, had 2 man of the match performances, did quite well. He's never really made it in the Lyon lineup, but I think I think we've done well, and I think at 1.9 million, look what he's already valued at. I think he's a valuable signing as well. And there is one out, just to quickly update you on here, that is about to happen, hasn't happened yet. Hammer is off to MLS. I don't know which MLS club he ended up going for, but he's going for 870, just under £1 million anyway. He's going to FC Dallas. So, yeah, he's solid, but midfield's a strength for us. He's 22. He's not going to improve that much. So we'll cash in and send him off to MLS. Lee, did you send Steve Bruce the Brentford cabbage yet? Well, get on that. Hurry up. Hello? Oh, hi, Mr. Chairman. Yep. Yeah, that's invoice from Italy for 18.5 million. Yeah, no, that sounds right. What did I do? I went shopping, sir. Well, you know what they say, when in Rome, or Sassuolo and Torino to be exact. Well, I got 2 of them, so it's not like, we got some value for money there. Well, what is the point of being in the Premier League if you can't splash the cash every now and again? So we have 2 signings to unveil now, both from Italy. The first is Giacomo Raspadori. We've signed him for £9 million up front from Sassuolo. You can see the fee potentially rising there to $14.25 million. The fans, not so sure, only a C signing. He's on 45 grand a week. You can see all these bonuses there as well. Let's have a look at what we've signed here. Now, he's a striker, winger, a little bit of everything. I ummed and ahmed about signing this guy for a little bit of time, to be honest. I was still not completely convinced by him, but I've spent $9 million on him now, so I might as well like him. He's generally good, physically just a little bit in the air, and strength isn't quite good, or as good as it could be. He's a good dribbler, good finisher. Everything else there is not too bad. He's got good flair, good off-the-ball movement. He's one of these where he might come off, he might not, but he can play with either foot, so he can cover both wings if we need him to as well. I think he's a useful player, so we'll go with it. He didn't score many goals last year, had a good year the year before. The scouts do like him, which is nice, potentially a 4-star player. So we'll see how we get on with him, but yeah, so that's Raspadori. And the second one here is Ivan Gelati. This guy is a left back. We've signed him for 9.5 million from, where'd he come from? From Torino, I think, wasn't it? Potentially going up to 15 million. You can see the add-ons there. Games, goals, and Champions League football. So potentially he's a good Premier League left back. I feel like we could upgrade at left back. So that's what we've looked to do. We're paying him 75 grand a week. So we're paying him a lot of money. Certainly by Brentford standards. But let's have a look at him here. He is just a big upgrade, I think, on both Thompson and Mikulic. The plan now is to loan Mikulic out for this season, our young Croatian, so he can get first-team football and make sure he develops properly. But good defensively, good going forward, good pace as well, so he should be able to get up and down, decent in the air. He's just a good all-round left-back, and I think we've paid a lot of money and we're paying a lot of money in wages, but I think we're going to get what we're paying for here. You can see there he's played in Serie A with Torino for the last 3 seasons. He is not an international yet. He's an under-21 international, not a senior international, but I think he has the potential to be an international. So yeah, that's good. I think we've strengthened at left back. We've got a good first choice left back there and a good, potentially decent option as an attacking player as well. Okay, just a quick update with a few departures. Jan Zemburik has left. He's gone off to Spain, £3 million. You have to contribute a little bit, 7 grand towards his wage. He was on 30-something grand a week. So I just was never convinced by him, so he's left. And then the 2 others that have left, if we go up here, too far, dumbass. All right, there we go there. Panaranda has left us to go to the blue team from Birmingham. £6 million we got for him. He was here for a season and a half. We signed him for 1.4. He had a good year in the Championship. Not a great year, if we're honest, in the Premier League. So he goes back to the Championship. £6 million, made a profit on him. So that's not too bad. And the other player to have left here is Jack Simpson. Again, we've got to pay a little bit towards his wages, but 3.9 million we got for him. Again, just good at the Championship level, not really good enough for the Premier League. We had him for, again, a season and a half, and we just didn't use him last year. He was injured for a lot of it. Of course, he won the Golden Cross, didn't he, for most injured player. So it's a decent fee. We've had him, as I said, for a season and a half, and we've, more than doubled our money. So that's not too bad at all. So we are now at game day of our first Premier League game in the second season. We're going to be away to Newcastle in that one, so that will be next episode. So we'll quickly review what we've done here and have a look at the squad that we have for the new season. You can see we've had a few out, a few in. We spent 39 million. We've got just under 14 million back. We might have one or two more sales between now and the end of the year, but time will tell on that one. But yeah, I'm relatively happy with what we've done. We have a quick look at the squad. Now, usually I would go into the team report to do this, but we sort of have two formations that I've been signing players for, and I'm not completely sure, to be honest, which way we're going to go just yet. It would be the same as last year. We have the wingers or the old Warsaw formation. As you saw last year, we kind of went back and forth between the two. So let's have a look in positions and we can sort of see what we have. So goalkeepers, third choice is Kieran Slicker, a decent enough youngster to be third choice. The first goalkeeper will be Gunnarsson. Now, we did have a $25 million bid come in for him from Norwich. I don't want to sell him. He's happy to stay. You do worry a little bit about the board. Maybe it's just the Bala Town scars coming up again, but you do worry a little bit about when the Brentford board might step in and say, yes, we're selling. And the backup is Confente, who we signed last year as a replacement for Bellacome, knowing he was leaving. He's a good backup, so I think we're well served there for goalkeepers. Now, defensively, Marley Felix is not registered in the squad. We're going to look to loan him out. We might even look to sell. Just hasn't quite worked out. We've got better options right now. We have Scott McKenna, who will be one of the big centre-backs for us. Luka Rasic, who was a starter for us last year, will have a role to play this year as well. They're not centre-backs. We go down to Soleil, who, new signing, I think will be a good player for us. We have the Bard, Mickeland, who is a good youngster and continuing to develop, who will have a role to play for us this year. And the other guy is, where is he gone here? There he is here, right underneath where he should be. Skander Suisi, of course, the young Frenchman who looks a star. Unfortunately, he has picked up an injury in pre-season, so he's not as fit as I would like him to be for the start of the year, but he's going to be a good player for us. Now, if we look at, let's go to have a look at our fullbacks. So on the right side, we have Jaden Bogle. We saw him last year. Absolute star he is. And we have James Justin as well as the backup on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, we have the new man. We found Dominic Thompson first. So Dominic Thompson, developing, is decent. I don't think he's going to be here long-term, but for now, he's very good as a backup. And Gelati, of course, the very expensive left back that we signed on 75 grand a week. He's the other option there. Now, defensive midfielders, there's two main guys, George Dobson, who is a good, solid player for us, and James Garner, who was an absolute star last year as well. They'll sort of fill in this anchorman role or defensive midfield role. And that's everybody there kind of checked in. Midfield, we have Scott Mcqueen, one of the youngsters. He'll play more in the under-19s or under-23s this season, but one for the future. Marek Hamšik's back. Possibly his last year. He's 36. He might even retire and not take it out of our hands. But he should be a good player for us this year, I think. Baptiste, good player as well. So he's going to be here for the season. He's no longer captain. I'll get to who the captains are going to be next episode, but we've taken the captaincy away from him just because I think we can do better. Diola is a useful player. I like him. He can play right back as well as we saw last season. So he'll sort of just be a bit of a utility option there for us. Palaversa in on loan this year is a good player for us. He had a bit of an injury in pre-season as well, so maybe not as fit as he could be. Robinson is a youngster. I'd like to get him out on loan to get him some first team football. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe some Carabao Cup games for him. Farai, the standout player of last season, he's back. He's got a new contract, 36 grand a week he's on now and ready to go. We have Majbri, and unfortunately he has spent pre-season in and out of injuries. So he's not really match sharp. We haven't seen too much of him yet, and he's going to be out for the first 2 weeks of the season as well. So that's a bit of a pain in the backside. The other option in midfield is Andy Hay, a youngster again. I think we're going to either loan him out or he'll just spend the season down the under-23s, just trying to develop. He's a good ball-winning midfielder. I'm just not sure if we might just move past him, I think. Attacking players in wide areas, we have Luke K. Bacchio, as I say perfectly. I think he's going to be a good player for us. We, of course, also have the wizard, Lewis Potter, who can play in wide areas. These guys can also play up front, of course. Scott Munro, who is a central midfielder, but more likely a deep-lying forward, I should say, for us. I'm excited to see what he can bring this season. Hendrickson, tempted to send him out on loan just because he does have potential. I don't know how much he'll play for us, but he can play as a right winger. He can also play up front, so he's useful. And a good player as well. Raspadori, of course, who we bought in from Sassuolo, a useful attacking player again, can play sort of anywhere in the front third, which is good, both feet as well. So I think he's a good player. And of course, Fete Up, the hopefully the new Jamie Vardy, but good. He's like Jamie Vardy, but with physical attributes. So hopefully he's going to get goals for us. We paid 8.5 million for him. We're paying him almost 80 grand a week. We really do need him to come off. Unlike Jamie Vardy, his wages, we can't afford that to be it. That's a mistake we can't afford. So that's the squad we have moving forward this year. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know in the comments how you think we'll do this year. I certainly won't do any worse than last season, that's for sure. We do have a few, obviously a few new faces around as well, so it may take a little bit of time to gel, may take a little bit of time to figure out exactly how best to approach the season tactically. But I think I'm excited. I'm excited for the new season. As I said, we'll get underway tomorrow, away to Newcastle, then at home to Liverpool. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Take care.